Fellowship Southwest is a Christian network of individuals and churches who want to practice compassion and pursue justice together and making new connections across denominational boundaries. And one of our most important things we do is support a small network of pastors and ministers who are here on the southern border from Tijuana to Matamoros, helping migrants, providing protection, feeding, and helping them to know how to really begin the asylum process mostly. And so our job at Fellowship Southwest is to tell the stories of those ministries and of the migrants and why they're coming and what they go through in order to help generate support, both financial as well as direct help for those for the migrants, and hopefully also encourage people to be advocates, to learn how to raise their voices for justice, for more just policies for migrants who are trying to make their way here and so often fleeing such harsh conditions with cartel violence and poverty. We have a lot to learn from migrants. That the American church so often is very comfortable and can't imagine the type of faith it takes to take up your toddler and walk from Venezuela to the United States because you know that is the best thing for your family, for example. And so I think the American church has a lot to learn. We have a lot to grow in our compassion and empathy for our neighbors, and we can certainly learn from the strength of the faith of so many folks who have to go through this journey. It's exactly the type of thing we're called to do as Christians, to love our neighbor, to welcome the stranger. And I think that a lot of Christians, even good-hearted Christians who want to support good policies, sometimes are pretty far from the suffering and from the pain. And I think I can, through our work at Fellowship Southwest, help folks become a little more proximate to that suffering and that pain in a way that moves them to both help immediately, to meet needs, to do things that we can in our privilege and sometimes in our prosperity to really help. And so I think that I'm blessed and privileged in my career to have been a part of that work for justice, a part of that advocacy and public policy work. And here at Fellowship Southwest, we have an opportunity to do both, to help meet immediate needs of folks suffering right here on our doorstep, especially as a Texan, but then also to learn how to best use our voice to the best of our ability in spite of the political climate to do what we can to change those laws. I think it's important for folks to know that there are Christians, there are churches, there are people in the United States who care, who are praying for them, and who want to help be a part of the solution, who see the suffering and understand that what's really happening with migrants and on the border is very different from what the media portrays. And I think what we want to do with Fellowship Southwest, and I hope that you all know, is that by telling the story, by knowing exactly what's going on, we want to increase that number of Christians and churches who care and want to provide support and help. And so know that there are a lot of others out there, folks connected to Fellowship Southwest and other churches who care and are trying to do our best.